So I had a question from Mark Stall 75 asking about what all the basic tools are that you need to get into pin turning. And so I'm going to show you what all you need. One of the first things you need is a lathe of some kind. Mine actually is called a full size lathe. I use it for making bowls and platters and all kinds of different things. It's kind of on a upper end of the price scale, possibly. You can get them relatively cheap at various places. Harbor Freight's one of them. Not trying to push their tools, but they do have a cheap, small 10-inch lathe that you could use for making pins. Um, this you don't necessarily have to have, but it's called a four-jaw chuck or a scroll chuck, and those are pin jaws on it. I use those to drill my pin blanks out to put my tubes in. You could do that with a drill press as well, but I just don't like the drill press as much, so I use my chuck. If you're not going to use a chuck, you have to have some kind of a pin mandrel, or you will have to have a pin mandrel of some kind to actually put the components between to turn them down to round and to make your shape. And then you need some kind of tools to do that with. Honestly, the tool I use the most is a roughing gouge. It's just what I'm comfortable with as far as turning round stock. But you could also use carbides, and they work pretty well, especially if you're using some kind of acrylic material. The carbides work really well. Obviously, you need some kind of a pin kit, and they come in different kits. And this is the kit here. Let's see if I can dump it out one-handed. It's got all the different components inside of it that you need to put the pin together. If I can get them all out. There you go. So all the parts. One of the things that you need, or I guess two of the things you need, are these brass tubes, and they actually go inside of the wooden blank. Something else that you need is a wooden blank. You have to drill out a hole in the center of that to insert the brass tube, and you glue it in with super glue or epoxy. That's what I use my chuck for. If you don't have a chuck, then you could use a vise and a drill press to make that happen with that. And then you'll need some way to trim up the ends. That's what I was doing at first, but now I'm using a belt sander. You need bushings for the size pin kit that you're going to use, which that is what these are there. They go in the tube, hold your wooden blanks apart so you can turn them down. And then the outside diameter gives you the right size for your wooden blank to match up with your different components on your pin. And then you need some way to press all of your components together. That's what this does there. You could do this part here with your lathe as well, but I have the tool to do it with. Hope it helps.